come to the floor here to give an even simpler argument, because it applies in many different areas in addition to education. Senator Scott coming to the floor to ask for choice, opportunity, and competition all mixed in together. When you've got that, you've got the description of a perfect marketplace, whether it's for healthcare, whether it's for education, and ironically, the two places in our country where expenses keep going up and up would be in healthcare. Most families would put that up there right along with education. K through 12, having that ability to choose where you'd want your own kids to go to school is something that you should never be afraid of. If you're not interested in it, you're probably trying to hide something. And that would be in many cases where you're not mustering what it takes to minimally educate your own child properly. I was on a school board 10 years, 04 to 14 in Indiana. Public school system in one of the most Catholic places in the state of Indiana. I'll never forget, a high school tried to start that was Catholic. Our public school system was so good, it couldn't get the first base, but at least the attempt was made. Not all areas are blessed with a public school system as we traditionally know it, offering that top-notch education. And whenever you do fear competition, transparency, which doesn't necessarily apply here, but choice, it does, you're probably trying to cover up something that's not performing. And sadly here, it's where you need the choice more than any other place, where folks can't afford to have the choice. And if you're trapped in one system, what does that say for your kids' future? I ran a business for 37 years. So many businesses try to do the same thing, get involved in markets. It gets concentrated. That's what's happened in our healthcare industry. It's like an unregulated utility, and it disguises itself as free enterprise. That's restricting competition, restricting transparency, restricting choice. Costs have been going up for decades, no end in sight. Post-secondary education, very similar. Here, all we need to do is take a system that's still got a pretty good value to it. It's just not producing the results. Indiana has been one of the leaders in charter schools and choice. Have over 100 charter schools. I reflect back, I think it was when I was a state legislator, neighboring county, 3 grade schools. The smallest of the 3 had to be shut down because of cost cuts. Well, best performing of the 3. Those kids would have had to have traveled 10, 15 miles to get to one of the other 2 public schools, elementary. This place worked as hard as you could over 2 years, scraped together the resources, and kept their Otwell Miller Academy open. And it was a choice of the parents, and they were part of a system that wasn't working, and they were able to do it. Had it not been for the charter school policy in our state, that community would have been out of luck. We have some of the best charters in the country in Indiana because we're a place that generally embraces competition, transparency, choice, no barriers to entry. Whenever the healthcare industry is trying to lobby for not having more competition, for instance, through physician-owned hospitals, when public school systems want themselves to be the only option, sometimes you get lucky, like I did, and went to a great public school system. Many times you don't, and you're trapped in a bad system. Our schools, too, that are charter Sometimes they're a little more experimental. They focus on things like STEM, CTE, particular education that that community might need. Where if you're bought into the same old curriculum, the same old process, the same thing that's not generating even the basic results, you're trapped in something that should never be the case. B for choice, B for competition, B for a successful education. I yield the floor.